Hola, ¿cómo están? Esta es Lily de Lily Sin Barreras. Tratamos de hacer esto por nuestro equipo bien profesional y todo, pero como que no salían. Por aquí nos vamos. Vamos a ver si ustedes me escuchan. Yo me escucho acá, ustedes me dejan saber si me escuchan ustedes. Y acá pueden hacer live interrupted again. Y acá pueden hacer live interrupted again. Ustedes me dejan saber si me pueden escuchar. Estamos en vivo ahora. El tópico de hoy se trata de salud mental de la perspectiva de una paciente. Y la paciente aquí soy yo. Esto viene luego de enterarme de mucho, de por los pasados 3 o 4, 5, 6, 7 años, no sé, casi 10 años de escuchar las boberías que escucho de la gente continuamente. Y espero que ustedes pues se unan y compartan el video. No van a tener toda la tecnología, pero espero que se unan a la conversación, ya que es sumamente importante para mí compartir todo esto con ustedes. Si ustedes me dejan saber si me escuchan, aquellos que se unen, le voy a dar, se unan a la programación y le voy a dar unos minutos para que lo hagan. Le dije anteriormente que this is not a video to have your children watch. If you are not comfortable with talking about mental health, and I'm talking about raw mental health. I'm not talking about the stuff that people just want you to know or read about. I'm talking about the hardcore mental health. So I hope that some of you will come back. I know some of you were excited about the topic because you see yourself in the topic, because you've lived it, because you've seen it, because you fight for it day in and day out. So I will give you a couple of minutes to do that right now. So I hope to see you soon, and let me know as soon as you're on. So I hope that you can do this. And I'm a little bit how would I say this? I'm a little bit saddened because I got news today that we again lose someone else. And I really want to thank all of you who are always in touch, who are always looking for ways to support our mission. Our mission has to change. Our conversations have to change. The way that we handle this business has to change. I'm just so tired of listening to the same crap over and over and over again. We can't do it. We need more money. But meanwhile, the bodies are there, the people are there, the appointments are there. It takes three weeks for you to get an appointment. You go into the emergency room, and if you're not critical, meaning if you don't say the magic words, you don't get into a center, so on and so forth. So les voy a hablar a la RAI, como dicen en mi país, o como decimos nosotros. Literalmente, solo los estoy esperando a ver si algunos de ustedes se unen. Y quería hablarle un poquito de un chico que hoy está celebrando su graduación a pesar de que su sistema escolar le falló. Y aquí estamos. Estoy un poquito confundida en lo que las personas esperaban de lo que se hablará hoy, ¿verdad? Porque todo lo que debemos de estar hablando cuando se trata de salud mental es todas las verdades, no simplemente aquellas verdades que le convienen a la gente. Y les invito a todos aquellos que quieran conocer del tópico un poco más, que quieran conocer de mi historia un poco más. Yo la utilizo todo el tiempo. De esa forma puedo llevar el mensaje de que yo también soy paciente de salud mental. Y los espero, estoy esperando aquí unos segunditos, unos minutos, pero si nada sucede, hablo conmigo misma porque lo he hecho tantas veces. Y luego ustedes pueden ver el video. I do want to thank Warren Hardy for the messages that he sends me in the mornings. We have never had the opportunity to meet each other face to face, and I definitely get all these wonderful messages from him. I want to thank my friend Christina Sesta, who brought some donations although I was away. And you never know why people are going away, right? It all sounds good and it all sounds like it's on vacation and so on and so forth, but it's not always that way. So I hope some of you will join us in this conversation. I'm using a total different computer because it's not always the way we think it's going to go. And such is life, right? So before I start with the nitty-gritty of the story, I want to check one more thing here, you guys. It's already 7:27. Can you believe that? 7:27. We started at 7. But due to technical difficulties, I'm still looking here to see who's texting us and who wants to be part of the conversation with us. So I hope you will join us and let others know that we are here and that we're going to have this conversation. Again, I just want everybody to know that if this is going to be a trigger, I'm going to talk about suicide, I want to talk about psych units, I'm going to talk about what they offer you at psych units that I have been to, what I find that it's helpful to me, what I find that is absolutely absurd. I'm tired of watching people take their lives. I tried that myself, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But again, if any of these things are triggers and you don't want your children to know about these things or you don't feel prepared, please stop watching this video right here, right now. Hola Marisol, ¿me puedes escuchar? Déjenme saber si me pueden escuchar. Mi equipo me dice que sí. Marisol, I want to present an absolute apology to you. Our travels didn't go the way that we thought they were going to go, so we got here too late to be there for the conference. I'm sure you did a wonderful job, and we will have you on the show to talk about it. I hope that you can forgive me. Maji, keep sharing the video because we're going to have a difficult conversation for a lot of people. I am frustrated to hear people talk about mental health like it's some disease that other people are going to catch. I'm tired of having entities and agencies fight for budgets all the time just so they can attend to the needs of those of us who need the help, who desperately need the help. We don't only need the help, but we desperately need the help. So if you don't speak English, let me know and I'd be happy to translate to you. So number one, I started Lilly Sin Barreras years ago. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago as an official business. And my goal was to remove barriers. Those barriers are identified by the client. For a lot of people, that was very confusing because they really believed I should have been a nonprofit. I refuse to be a nonprofit. I think there's enough nonprofits out there doing a great job. I don't want anybody telling me where I should put my money or not put my money or my resources. And I'm in a place where I can do that. But let's talk about mental health. ¿Cuántos de ustedes me pueden decir a mí what you think mental health is? What do you really think it is? How many people do you know? And we will have a contest and all of that fun stuff today. How many people do you know that are crying in their bathrooms, that are crying behind their loved ones, that are going to see a psychiatrist behind their loved ones, that are going to... looking for places where they can terminate their lives, that are using drugs as a way to cope, and legal drugs and illegal drugs that are using, and I include alcohol in there. A lot of people go, no, pero la bebida no es lo mismo. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you're using it to cope, yes, it is. I like to have my wine. I like to have a cold beer. I like to have all of that kind of stuff. Again, this conversation is going to be hardcore, all of it.
So at the age of 42, I woke up one morning not knowing really what the hell was going on. ¿Qué estaba pasando conmigo? At the age of 42. For any of you who are interested in my trainings where I go deep in and I tell you what worked for me and what didn't work for me and what I think it's a whole bunch of BS, and I think I totally think you should fire your providers if they're not doing. Mental health is real, absolutely. Marisol, I hope you receive my apology and you accept it. Mental health is real. Some people, and here I stole this from Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I hope he forgives me. Some people join in their churches like every event. They hide in church, right? They hide in church. They're part of the choir. They're part of this. They're part of that. They're part of blah 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 blah. But they never take care of themselves, right? Other people go to the gym 24/7. They're buff. They're like wow. I admire them. I admire them for doing that. But are you hiding? Are you hiding? Anything you do to hide and run away from your mental health, from your thoughts. We have schizophrenia, we have depression and schizophrenia, we have anxiety, we have OCD, okay, we have PTSD, lots of our veterans, lots of our victims of domestic violence. Hemos visto lo que ha pasado en Puerto Rico. Women are dying all over the world because they're not believed. There are men, there are no shelter for men who are being abused. What world do we live in? So here's the story. At the age of 42, I wake up one morning and my family doesn't know what to do with me. I've had a career my entire life. I've been blessed. I worked for the Hispanic Health Council, for QUELF, the Connecticut Women's Education Legal Fund. I worked for Telemundo, what you guys call Nueva Inglaterra right now. Worked with a partner, William Newton. I worked with Juan Brito. Trabajé para la radio. I mean, if in the eyes of everybody else, I look like I had it going on. But I did a lot of crying. I had lots of headaches, lots of bad headaches. Hi, Eddie. Thank you. We love you. We continue to ask everybody to share the video. This could really change the perspective of how you see mental health. Okay? Loneliness, divorce, custody. I can't even tell you the many things that can affect your mental health. And for some reason, we treat mental health like it's this alien, right? Like it's this thing that's not part of your body. Well, every decision you make in your life is based in your brain. Everything. From what ice cream are you gonna have this evening, to what you're gonna do with the rest of your life, or what you're gonna do today. Do you feel like getting out of bed? Do you feel like taking a shower? If I hear one more person say, if that person tried just a little bit harder, just a little bit harder, taking control. Well, let me tell you this. I've been in 7 psych units, all misdiagnosed, 7 psych units. And I just remember this one time I don't eat cereal. I mean, it's not one of my go-to. Sorry, cereal companies, is not one of my, I like Honey Nut Cheerios now. Honey Nut Cheerios. But it was not my go-to. And I was so hungry this evening. And I was at UConn. It was my second time at UConn. I've been in Capistrano, Puerto Rico. I've been in Sidra, Puerto Rico. I've been in Bristol Hospital, which I ended up working for them. I've been in many locations, many places. I wish I could show you all the pictures, but because the system went down, this is what I have right now. But I will post the pictures for you. Couldn't get out of bed, couldn't take a shower for myself, did put myself in a coma. So here I go. Again, if this is a trigger for you, it's not the place to be. Okay, but if you want to have an honest conversation, here it goes. I have had in many of my trainings, speeches, whatever you want to call them, people say people who take their lives are selfish. Stop watching this channel, because I totally disagree with you. People who get to the point where they feel that they have nothing to offer this world are desperate, because I did it. are desperate. I put myself in a coma. My family didn't know if I was going to live or die. And you know, one of the prayers that my mother had that are very difficult to hear a mother even tell you that is, God, take her. If she's going to come back with so much pain as she was, just take her. And you're thinking, what the hell? But it was true. I was in a lot of pain. I remember going to this Chinese restaurant with my husband, and I really liked these noodles. And I could see them, I can point to them, I couldn't articulate. And that said, the video, I've been having trouble, I guess, with my internet here. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe my husband will be an angel and check on it. But that said, I could not get it out. And the poor woman who worked at the Chinese restaurant was so frustrated with me. And my husband had to be my advocate and say, give her a minute. Give her a minute. But I felt so small, so little. I wanted to run as fast as I could out of there. But my husband held my hand and we had dinner. And all I could do was look at him and think, you've been such a good man. How do you deserve this? And also thinking, I've done good in life. How did I end up with this mess? How did I end up with this mess? How did that happen? Well, it so happens that after 4 years of psych units, 4 points. Does anybody know what I mean with 4 points? Anybody holler at me. Do you know what 4 points means? When somebody in the hospital gets to be point in 4 points. Does anybody know? Tell me. Does anybody know what 4 points look like? Has anybody ever told you what 4 points look like? Well, 4 points is literally 4 points. They put your arms up here. They separate your legs. Right? It's 4 points. Hola, Saimi, te quiero mucho. 4 points. Let me just tell you, 4 points. They give you a shot, a medication, and they hold you up. Shackle, 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 4 points. Is it legal? Yes, it is. I had such a headache, a horrible headache. I couldn't stop my head and I started screaming. And they said I was out of control and they put me in 4 points. I don't remember anything except, me too. Saimar says the same thing. Me too. That's so brave of you, Saimar, to even say that. So I just want you all to know that mental health is not this, it's taboo. We don't want to talk about it. Las comunidades no quieren hablar de salud mental, que si vete al pastor, que si ora, que si esto, que si lo otro. Tiene que ser una combinación de muchas cosas. You have to have a combination of many things. Of many things. I have great faith and I believe that God is going to help me. But I also believe He's given me a brain to do so. Okay? So my eye and my mouth got twisted. Right? So they finally figured out my mother, who was a hero, who would not stop and stop and stop. She finally found a neuropsychologist that after many, many, many tests said, your daughter has a brain injury. And my mother jumped up and down and said, thank God. And he said, oh boy, what do you mean, thank God? And she said, I knew there was something wrong with my daughter. I knew this was not her. I'm not that special. I'm not that special. I'm just blessed and lucky that my mother fought for me. My father cried tears. My husband cried tears. They could not believe what they ended up with. They could not, for the life of them, and know what happened. What happened to the wife? What happened to the daughter? What was going on? Who was this person? I was already a mother, a grandmother. What the hell? So these are very, very difficult things to talk about. I went to Puerto Rico with my mother for almost 2 years, and I started mutilating, self-cutting. I wanted to find a way to just end it. I looked at my mother with pity in her eyes. She looked at me like I was in her daughter. My brother looked at me the same way. My father looked at me the same way. My husband looked at me with love, but also total confusion. And I thought, these people have loved me all my life. They don't deserve this. I remember saying to my husband, please put me somewhere where they would treat me halfway nice and continue your life. He chose not to take that option. And we are still together. But what I really want to talk to you about is the importance of more patients coming out and doing this. Talk about it. Scream about it. Tell people about it. Tell people they have to open entities and spaces where we can talk. Okay? If you go to my YouTube channel, you will find there a beautiful interview that is with Joshua Spitz, and he talks about healing schizoaffective, and it is his perspective. And one of the things that we have to really look at is how we are analyzed, how we are diagnosed. How are we diagnosed? Do you know how people are diagnosed? Do you know what methods they're using for you? Do you know? When you sit in front of a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, an MSW, do you know what they do? Do you know what they're capable of doing? Do you have chemistry with them? Do you not have chemistry with them? Here are triggers that were horrible for me. Horrible. And you can chime in anytime you want. You have a good family. They love you so much. Why would you want to do this? Ay, Dios mío. You have such a good family. Why would you want to do this? Do you think I'm doing this to my family? Do you really think I'm doing this to my family? These are the things that people say to you that you go, oh my God, are you serious? I remember being at a hospital and this maintenance person saying to me, you know, if you picked up the bed, then you look like you're almost together. You know what happens is that patients figure out how to get out of the psych unit. You do your bed, maybe. You go to a couple of meetings, not even if you understand them or not, and you're out. And you're out. That's it. That's it. And they give you referrals, maybe make a connection, maybe not make a connection. I personally believe that all of our psych units need to be reevaluated. Okay? Reevaluated and really redesigned. Redesigned. I remember my tremors were so bad. So bad. And this woman gave me, and I'm being honest with you, I'm just like so, that I can't believe that people are still doing crap like this. And they gave me a coloring book. I could barely hold the coloring book, first of all, and they gave me crayons. And then they said things like, you're so well behaved. I'm 42 years old, 43, 44, 45. You're so well behaved. What the does that mean? You're so well behaved. What does that mean? Does that mean that I have to punch somebody's lights out so you can feel my pain, so my pain looks real? I remember this woman, and I went to different psych units, and I probably guarantee you that that was the only time my family got respite. The only time they were able to get any respite. Anytime they were able to get any respite. My goal with you is that if you have followed my page, my team is working really hard at talking about mental health. What can you do? Talk to a friend, not judge. They judge you for everything. If you start crying in the middle of work or whatever it is, they start taking projects away from you. They think that you can't handle it anymore. Hi, Jenny, La Rosa. Rosa, thank you for joining us. Sammy, you know I love you. Margarita Gonzalez. Eddie, I just want you to know that the judgment is so hard. So I have someone I care for very much, and when they are in a very bad space, they'll say things to me. You don't love me anymore. You don't call me anymore. That's not them. That's the depression speaking. I remind them all the time of how much I love them and how much I care about them, and that's not going to go away because they're having a bad day. Most people will hang up the phone on you. Most people will not check up on you. Most people will believe whatever. Most people will do that. The system, the court system, our legal system is still not prepared to deal with mental health. So how broken do I need to be? So I was diagnosed later on with what is called a TBI, traumatic brain injury. Where did that come from? That came from getting hit so much in the head by a partner that my mother had. Don't judge my mother, you don't have that right. I had to ask her permission for a book that I'm writing. So I identify a lot with what that means. But for years, I was going to a therapist without telling anybody. And that therapist turned into a psychiatrist. And I started using meds as needed. As needed. Right? But as we all know, when you have a busy life, I was a single mom. I had a child with her own uniquenesses. And what happens? You start skipping those, right? That's not as important as it used to be. Exercise, nutrition. Nobody told me about any of that. None of that. Let me tell you that when you are in full depression, your body hurts. If somebody tells you that, they're telling you the truth. Their body hurts. It hurts. Your body hurts. When you can't sleep, anybody who can't sleep, your life becomes difficult. And as we've been posting on our page, children go through depression, children go through PTSD, children go through anxiety. We read book after book after book after book after book, looking, hi Wanda, we look book after book after book, looking for the answer, but we're never talking to patients. And when we talk to them, it's for data. And some of this data is manipulated. So I may have no friends after this, and I'm okay with that because I have some really, really good friends. I had the opportunity as I went home, in my case to Puerto Rico, I had the opportunity to read a book of an author that we're going to have. Her name is Mitos Santiago. And I have never read a story like hers. There's books that I recommend, like Carla Medina's book. I recommend Misoti's book. I recommend Dr. Margaret Hungerford's book. These are books that really are focused on the daily life, the people, you and me, you and me. That's what we're focused on, you and me. That's what you should be focused on. Your legislators, your doctors, your lawyers, you need to be able to inform them and educate them. And I know that's sad and it is frustrating. I have fired 3, not 1, 3 psychiatrists. Number 1 psychiatrist told me that I had no reason to be depressed because I had the perfect family. I was so sick. I was so sick. I was under so much medication, people. I would drool. I would tremble. So much medication because it was medication after medication. And to be clear, doctors need to find the right medication for you. Yes, so much medication. My eye went in, my lip. If you guys look at some of my pictures, I don't have the self-esteem issues that I used to have. Hola, Hilda. But as you get older, you start noticing, right, the differences. However, recovery is possible. Recovery doesn't mean you're not going to have a relapse, right? So you got to know what your triggers are. Okay? Triggers for me is high volume. So there's some shows, or sometimes my husband and I are watching TV and same show, different day, my audio says, it's too high or it's too low. And him and I have learned how to adjust with that. Have good days, not such good days. Can I work 40, 50, 60 hours a week? I shouldn't. Have I? Yes. Okay, but in this last trip, it was very clear by my doctor to say, no, 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 no. You got to slow your roll. This is not what you need to be doing. So I have to step back a little bit and let my team take over. What I didn't want to do is to have people go, ahora sí, hola, Yesenia, mi morena, mi mori, así le digo yo. Hablemos claro. Let's be clear. What other stereotypes? Lilly doesn't look like a patient. She doesn't sound like a patient. Why not? Yo he llorado en mi carro, he llorado en la bañera, he llorado después de una reunión, me ha dado un ataque de ansiedad. Es más, le voy a decir una cosa. Before, I used to go get my granddaughter, which has only happened to me one time. I went to get my granddaughter, and Ashleen can testify to this, one of my best volunteer/employees. I went to get my granddaughter. I could not, I worked a full day out in the street, and I could not figure out even when with my GPS, I could not find my way to get my granddaughter. Tell me, thumbs up. Have you ever been there, lost, and you can't find your way? I couldn't find my way. The worst part of this is that I don't know how I got home. I disappointed my granddaughter. I disappointed my daughter. This is all in my head, right? They're all worried about me. My husband is trying to find me. It is crazy. I get to my house. Get ready for this. I beep the horn. I'm basically fainting. I get upstairs. And guess what? I pee on myself. I'm trembling. I pee on myself. My husband had to bathe me, clean me up. Am I ashamed? At that moment, I was. Very much so. Very much so. But to know that my partner just followed the lead, held me all night, reminded me that it was just a moment. Here's what I tell to all of my, so if you're interested in our workshops, and I am promoting them, and that's how I make a living, so sorry, let us know, and you can be in that room with us. You can be in that room with me. You can ask all the questions that you want. I've been there. 7 psych units. Okay? 7 psych units. Okay? In Puerto Rico and here. Okay? I still remember that event and how my daughter was desperate trying to find me. My daughter's an adult. She's now 32 years old. And she called my husband screaming, "Where's mom? Where's mom? Where's mom? Where's mom? Where's mom?" And my husband had to say, "Your mom is indisposed." And to my daughter, that was, "What does that mean? Is mom in the hospital? What happened? What happened?" And he said, "Your mom will talk to you when she feels better." That was really hard for my daughter because all she wanted to do was hear my voice. But I couldn't even talk on the phone. I couldn't do that. So the reason I bring this kind of deep, and I get deeper in my trainings, and I call them trainings because it's like a toolbox that you can be part of if you choose to. All you have to do is tell us right now, I want to be part of it. We're going to do it and assume the first one. It will have a cost to it, from $10 to $15. The team is making their mind as we speak. Yes, Hilda, thank you so much. Sometimes we just forget we're human. Yes, and it happens at all ages. I've had parents of 8-year-olds call me and say, "What do I do?" I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not even a clinician. Okay? I'm just somebody who has lived it. So if you want the real, the raw, of someone who's lived it, I have a great list of therapists that I recommend. One of my favorite people is Dr. Lebowitz in Farmington. Another one is Barbie Nadal. Definitely the Brain Injury Alliance. They have an amazing list. And the reason why I say this to you, it's because it's so important for you to find the right cocktail. So let's talk meds now. I had more meds than you can imagine. Hi, Mom. My mom is here. She can definitely testify. Send me some more info. Definitely will. Just hit us in the inbox. Tell us that you want to be part of the training, and we're about to start it very soon in the next couple of weeks. Here's the saddest part about all of this. This week, I got, on my time away, I had to go to the island. On my time away, I got 3 phone calls. 2 brothers who are, which I call my brothers, 2 brothers who are homeless, one for no fault of his own. Another one has had a very difficult journey. And I have another 30-something that have had difficult journeys. And see, what you're looking at is adults. But what you don't understand is what they went through as children and as adolescents. I'm not excusing anybody, because choices are choices. What I'm saying is we are people. And we don't need to reinvent a new program. We please don't reinvent a new program. I tell this to people all the time. Listen to the people and what they need. Listen to the people and what they need. I got more phone calls being away this week from providers. Some of them going, I don't know what to do with such and such. It's not so hard. Listen to them. Listen to them. I hear a lot of people saying, well, we'll never be able to cure everybody. We'll never. Well, I'm not in the never crowd. Oh, my favorite one is the realistic people. You know what I'm talking about, right? The realistic people. I'm going to tell you about meds in a minute. You know the realistic people? The sarcastic people. Oh, I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm just being realistic. Yo tan solo soy realista, Lily. Así son las cosas. Hay que ser realista. But let me tell you about your reality, man. You're a pessimist, and I don't want you around me. Do what you can do. What you can do is what you should be doing. What you can do. Right? What you can do. Maybe a positive message to someone. I like to hear people's voices. I like when they send me messages and I hear the voices. That's important to me. I like to hear voices. I like to see the face of my mom. I like to see the face of my dad. I like to see your face. Sometimes I say to people, can we do it through Messenger so I can see you? Because there's something you can read that you can never read in voice. Okay, there's something you can read in person that you can't read in voice. Absolutely not. So let's talk about meds. Everybody asks me all the time, Lily, well, how did you get your meds? 4 years of trying different things. It was not into the day that I said to my husband, we went to this very, very renowned doctor, and he had a student taking care, and they could not find my file. They had no idea what they had given me. And my husband was saying, my wife seems worse, not better. And he got so upset. And he said, you will not take care of my wife anymore. I never seen him that upset. And he said, you will not take care of my wife anymore. It was more like his daughter than his wife at that point. And I saw him. And then I came back to this doctor a second time because he was the head, right? And he said to me, I don't like how your husband treated my student. And I said, we're done. But here was the beauty. I was able to drive to that appointment. I couldn't drive before. Okay? I couldn't drive before. Moment and sound not in sync. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to do, guys. I really don't know what else to do. There's some problem with the technology. I'm not the only one having it. I'm so sorry. But there is no way that I could continue with this doctor. So I fired him. He got so up. The video got interrupted again. He got so upset. He banged on the table. How dare you? I am one of the most. And I said, whatever, whatever, whatever. I can't deal with you. So the reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of people don't know that they can fire their provider. You can. It's a business relationship. Oh, but I have state insurance. It doesn't matter. They're getting paid. It's a business relationship. The same way they could say to you, this is not working. I'm probably not the best therapist for you. And I appreciate that when somebody does that. Don't you? It was not until I got to Dr. Michelli, may he rest in peace, a neuropsychologist. Oh, wait, I have a question. Lily, did you ever take ECTs? Yes. Many ECTs, over 10 ECTs. Those are electric convulsive shocks. And it's not like you see it in the movies. They put you to sleep. They trigger your brain for a little bit. I did lose memory. Short-term memory. So there's still some certain things that are not clear to me. So I bump into people sometimes and they're like, remember me? And da-da-da-da-da-da. And I so wish I did, but I figured if they're still happy to see me, I must have done something right. But I did. Was it helpful to me? Yes. And I always use me. Was it helpful to me? Yes. It was not helpful to many other patients that I talked to. So many people will say, no, it was not helpful to me. To me, it was definitely helpful. It was helpful. I saw a difference for me. And so the reason I continue to tell you this is because there's a lot of material out there. It can be very overwhelming. People are terminating their lives. People are losing their lives. People are feeling lonely. People are not being told that recovery is possible. Listen to my words, recovery. A lot of people like to say healing. I don't feel comfortable with healing because I think this is still something we have to deal with every day. Every day. You're going to have good days, now such good days. You're going to know what your triggers are. I like to do yoga. I'm not a cardio girl, but yoga helps me sometimes with cardio. I like to read. There was a point where I couldn't read. And I'm an avid reader. So there was a time I could not read. That was hard for me. Very, very hard. The TV looked like it had 3 different personalities going at once. I couldn't watch it. My poor mommy, she downloaded a game where you can find things. Hidden objects. I don't know if any of you have tried it. And she would try to help me find those hidden objects to make me feel a little bit better about myself. And I would get so excited when I found one. And to steal away from a sister and a survivor, Kate Callahan, she said, you become childlike. And it's very important to realize what that means to people. What that means to people. You become childlike. You become codependent on others. So when you think of psych units, I had a person who I care for very, 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 very much. And they went into a psych unit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 2021. They could not find anybody who spoke Spanish. Coño. Seriously? So he could not participate of any of the groups because he didn't understand what was going on. It is 2021. They didn't have Spanish-speaking groups. This is a very renowned psych unit. What's happening? What are we doing? What are we doing? So my focus is on mental health. So when it came down to meds, I met Dr. Michelli, like I told you all, may he rest in peace, a neuropsychologist. He was able to identify through a brain map and other studies that I did have lesions in my brain, and he worked very closely with my team and started taking me off of meds. It was hard, very, very hard, because my self-esteem was, I had a job, I had my life somewhat together. I was a mother, I was a grandmother, I was the daughter that people, called, the sister that people called, my parents divorced at a very early age, and that was very smart, mom and dad. And so what I can tell you is that the hardest part for me actually was not being able to be that for them. That was just like the hardest thing. That I was no longer that daughter. I was no longer that daughter. And people have asked me this before, and again, if this is a trigger for you, please, I am going to talk about suicide. Um, I'm sorry, I'm listening to a message here. Can everybody hear me and see me? Because I'm getting um, mixed signals. Somebody saying they can't hear me, other people could say, but let's continue. I did. I ended up in a coma. I took so much medication. They weren't sure if I could make it or not. Thank you, Hilda. Thank you very much. And believe it or not, I was angry when I woke up. It took days, but I was very angry when I woke up. Very, very angry. And months ago, I had someone that I respect very much say, can you come and talk about your story and how God was so important to you? And I had to be honest and say, I didn't like God very much. I thought he was punishing me. What the hell? And those are normal feelings. Those are normal feelings. And yes, I identify as a woman of faith. At that time, I had none. My mom was carrying all the faith. My father was carrying all the faith. I kept on saying, Dios me está castigando. He's definitely punishing me for something because this makes no sense. This makes no sense. But it wasn't until I got to that neuropsychologist that he asked me the question, have you ever, trigger, be careful, have you ever been violated? And I had to say yes. Have you ever been beaten? And I had to say yes. I, as many, kept that a secret for many years and put it in my toolbox and never used it. It was a big secret. I would never talk about it. I was afraid that you were going to judge my family, so on and so forth. I do have my mom's permission to have this conversation, but it is extremely, extremely hard for people to come out and say, this happened to me. And I know the Me Too movement, it's out there. And it seems so apart from us because we're not in Hollywood. But we are important. We are very, very, very important. Each and one of you who watch me and who don't watch me and who share the video or talk to a sister or a friend, you are very, very, very valuable. And so what saved me? I have to be honest with you. What saved me was, I believe, that little voice in my head that said, you know better. You know better. You know better. You've been an advocate for so many years. There's something inside of you still left. still left. There's something left in you, something left in you. And I remember I decided to try to drive, and I would drive from here to the pharmacy, which is not even, I think, a mile. And I would sit in the pharmacy, and I would like, I drove to the pharmacy. And, you know, I would do that for a couple of weeks, and then I would drive a little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further. But that took months. And I kind of did it in silence, and I would get lost sometimes, and I would cry. Thank God for the GPS. Thank God to the military for the GPS. So there was many, many things I had to learn how to do. There was this group at UConn. Not giving credit to UConn University. I'm giving credit to the space that we had. It was a non-clinical group, and there were people from 70s to 60s to 40s to 30s to 20s, from all walks of life, straight, gay, bisexual, transgender, in the process of figuring out where they were. They had been to outpatient. I was part of an intense outpatient program, and here's a funny for you. So I go to this outpatient, I don't know if you guys know what this means, but this is intense program, right? You go 3-5 days a week, whatever your program is. And I remember this man who I am still connected to saying, Mira, did you get your slip? You got to take it to your probation officer. And I said, I have a probation officer? He said, yeah, you got to take the slip. And to this day, him and I connect. It was the only person that talked to me. And I was on probation, but the fact that he saw me and he cared enough to tell me that I needed that slip, to this day, we see each other and we laugh, and he's doing very well. Some people did not make it. Some people did not make it in there with the higher power. Some people are still struggling. I bumped into someone in the supermarket, and they're like, wow, you went back to normal. And I said, no, there is no normal. I will never be the same person I used to be. I can't be after what I've lived. There's no way I can be. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I'm sick and tired of not having these conversations. So we are going to start having these conversations. We are going to talk more and more about it. I know I will lose a lot of you. You will unclick on my page. You won't want to see my show again. We are bringing, as we usually do, people to interview. I'm willing to take the risk. I believe that, you have a journey. God gave it to you, and you have to listen to it. So this is mine. So for those of you who want to know what type of medication I'm in, I'm going to tell you this. No medication is the same for everybody. So you have to find a medication that works for you. I do holistic medication, and I also do traditional medication. I do both. And the reason I don't give you the names of it is because people start asking their doctors for that. And we all want the magic pill. Trust me. I remember being in Capistrano. I don't know how much you guys know about Puerto Rico, but that's a psych unit. And let me just tell you, I'm going to say this. I say it out loud. I don't care who hears it. Capistrano kicks the ass of any hospital that I have been here in Connecticut. They kicked ass. They were much better, much more alert, much more attentive than any hospital I've been here. And you would say, well, why, Lily? Why did they put you in those hospitals? They didn't know what to do with me. They just didn't know what to do with me. But here is some of my story. And I am writing a book, but the book will be in pieces. And so if you want to join us on our journey, you can. Just let the team know that you do. And we will talk more about it, and you can talk more about your story. But there is no magical pill. Even if you're on medication, you're going to have to find other things that are helpful to you. Pictures are helpful to me. Certain music is helpful to me. Certain things are not helpful to me. I had to let go of a lot of people. I remember going to Bristol Hospital, and I wanted to be a volunteer. I wanted something. I wanted to wear a uniform. I wanted to belong somewhere. I wanted to be part of something, man. Anything. Being a volunteer didn't work for me. They put me at a lab, and nobody really cares when you say hello in the lab. So that didn't work for me. I went to work at Wendy's. I was horrible. Please be nice to the people who work in fast food, man. They're brilliant. I mean, all the things you have to do, I couldn't take it, the noise, the whole 9 yards, but they were amazing to me in Bristol. And then I became, little by little, my girlfriend, may she rest in peace, wanted me to become a nurse. And I was like, girl, I can't even read half of a book. And then I became a CNA, and I was terrified because I had to go take my test, my validation test, the certificate that you have to take to one of the places I used to work at. Can you imagine? Holy freaking sup. And I was terrified. And let me just tell you this. People are not paying that much attention to you. That's one of the things I learned. And if they do, it's quick, it's easy, and it's done. I passed the test, which I didn't think I would because my hands were trembling this bad. And then I could not get a job because I had no experience. So I saw an ad in the newspaper, and I started cleaning houses. I love to clean. It's therapeutic for me. I did a really, really good job. I had many customers. I didn't work for myself. I worked for a company who I forever will be grateful to. Their name is Help at Home. They were so good to me. Then I graduated. I say I graduated because then I went to be a personal care assistant, and there I met my angel. My true angel. And my true angel, his name is Miss Connie. And Miss Connie said to me, baby, I don't know what your problem is, but I know you're smart. You better stop, hanging your head down like some dog and pick it up. And we developed a great friendship. And she took me out of the dirt. She did. And I told my husband right before she passed away, although we didn't know that she was going to pass away. I did say to him, I know it's Christmas. I really want to go see her. That was her last Christmas. She threw a scarf at me, although we were not supposed to get any presents. I said, we can't get anything. We can't get anything. I'll get fired. She said, I don't care. You take it or I'll fire you. Hola, Jackie. Hola, Angelica. I don't care. I'll fire you. I'll fire you. You don't have to wait for them. And I still hold on to that scarf for dear life. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I go and I look at Connie's scarf. She did a lot of saving me. A lot. With all her wisdom, with all her love. And it was abrupt, and it was straightforward, and none of it was, sugar-coated, anything like that, except for kisses and hugs when she gave me those. And then I became a CNA, a certified nursing assistant, at a dementia unit at Bristol Hospital, and I loved it. I definitely loved it. Loved it. And got a concussion, and my husband begged me to stop. And I thought I should listen to him because what can I do? Es un gusto verte a ti también, Jacqueline, mi guerrera. But I will make this announcement to some people. Again, estoy en medio de riesgo. Me he tirado al medio con todo lo que le he dicho, que es toda la verdad. Para aquellos que se quieren ser parte de los adiestramientos, las conversaciones que vamos a tener, tienen que anotarse ya porque el equipo se está preparando para hacerlo ya. Donde ustedes van a conocer no tan solo de mi historia, sino de lo que hice, de lo que no hice, lo que me funcionó, lo que no me funcionó, todas las loqueras que hice, todas las loqueras que hice buenas, que me ayudaron muchísimo. Um, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. You're going to learn a lot. Los adiestramientos los he hecho for Trinity College, lo he hecho para la Universidad de Hartford, lo he hecho para otras organizaciones que me han traído para conversar sobre cuáles son las herramientas y cómo lo hacemos. My show has been bilingual, pero les voy a decir la verdad. Las personas que menos han apoyado mi programa y mi misión son aquellas personas que tan solo hablan español. Han sido personas bilingües, biculturales, anglos, afroamericanos, musulmanos, evangelistas, de todas partes. So, hi Mike, it's great to see you. Mike is my boy. He knows I'm telling the truth. We tell people stories. That's what I'm interested in Lilly Sin Barreras. I'm interested in telling people stories. We cannot abandon people. You know, you feed people. You know what we need? We need clothing. And everybody goes, well, you know what? We can go to Goodwill. How do you go to Goodwill without any money? You ain't got no money. You need money to go to Goodwill. Okay? Well, I don't want to give money to people who are homeless. Well, you know what? You should not be on my show. Because I can see the pain in my brothers and sisters. I know what it is to want to belong to something, because I've been there. Have always been there. And I'll never forget what it felt like not belonging anywhere. So I hope this was helpful to you. Hola, Judy. I'm so sorry I don't have my regular system, so I'm just going to go down here, say hi to everybody. Let me know. Marisol, espero que me perdones. Por favor, perdóname. Margarita, te amo. Ahí están los flanes. Ordénenos. And you know we love you in this house. We love you, love you, love you. Saimar, tú sabes que yo te admiro muchísimo, te quiero muchísimo. Jenny, no creo que nos conocemos. Pero un beso y un abrazo. Rose Flores, I don't know if we know each other, but God bless you. The judge, they judge you for everything. That is so true. Wanda, thank you for everything. Hilda, thank you for everything. Clarita, thank you for everything. Mi equipo Mori, gracias por todo. De nuevo, Hilda, gracias por todo. A mi mamá. Yo no sé si ustedes me ayudan a darle todos los corazones a mi mamá. Sin mami, no hubiese habido Lilly hoy. Ella se dio la tarea de que a mi hija le pasa algo, mi hija le pasa algo, a mi hija le pasa algo, a mi hija le pasa algo, hasta que ella se lo encontró. Y cuando encontró ese médico me salvaron la vida, al igual que se la pueden salvar usted. This is a condition. Some people have depression, some people have anxiety, OCD, PTSD. Si te está interrumpiendo tu vida diaria, tenemos que levantarnos el uno al otro. We gotta pick each other up. We gotta be like, boxers ready to relieve one another. Ready. Yo me voy a coger un par de semanas donde vamos a trabajar tan solo en este proyecto que estamos hablando ahora. Yo no temo a llorar. Before I was always afraid to cry in front of people. I don't do that anymore. If I have to cry, I cry, whatever it is. But I really, really want to thank everybody who have supported me through this journey. I'm 52 years old. It happened when I was 42. It took a long time for me to do this. So when I see someone, I really see them. Cuando alguien me cuenta, when you tell me your story, I honor it. And those who know me know that that's true, that I will honor it. Without my mother, without my husband, it would not have been possible. It was literally impossible. Cuando una mamá te ama como te ama la mía, que me dio vida 2 veces, y durmió conmigo día y noche, sin dejarme sola, nunca. porque mi mamita no podía, porque yo me levantaba todas las horas de la noche, todas las horas de la noche, todas las horas de la noche, todas las horas de la noche. La única paz que mi mamá tenía era cuando yo estaba en el departamento de psiquiatría, que podía por lo menos dormir 48 horas, 72 horas, pero yo se las hice de cuadrito a mi mamá cuando me enfermé. Por eso cuando alguien me habla a mí de tener depresión, so when you talk to me about suffering and depression and anxiety and wanting to terminate your life and not finding a place to go, hit us up. I promise you I will answer you. I will answer you as quickly as possible. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a clinician. You're going to hear it from somebody that suffers just like you. We might have some differences. That's okay. But it is time for us to make some noise. It is time for us to say enough. It is time for us to fight for our daughters, for our brothers, for our sisters, for our white men, for our black men, for our Italian men, for our French men, for our Latino men. Y nunca me gusta irme, este ha sido un programa muy largo por los problemas que tuvimos técnicos, pero nunca me gusta irme sin darle la oportunidad a alguien que se gane por lo menos $50. So tell me, what about what I told you today inspired you and you can get $50? We'll cash app it to you, send it to you, whatever you want. I'm hoping that all of those hearts are for my mother, man, because she's right here. You'll see her, Elsie Esteves, la guerrera más grande del mundo. Yo no tuviera vida si no fuera por mi mamá. So I hope you can give me something. So somebody tell me something that was different that you didn't think either I was going to say in this, or so on and so forth. Let me know. Again, I had to go to my tablet because my system for some reason went down, but mi abuela decía que el diablo era puerco, so we were not going to let him win. That's my belief anyway. I've lost a lot of followers because I say I believe in God. I lost a lot of followers. I was looking at my numbers because I say that I believe that the homeless population should not be homeless if we get our crap together. I don't think anybody should be going hungry in this country. I don't think we cannot. That's a double negative. My English teacher's not going to be happy. Clothe people. Hagamos una casita del amor. ¿Quién se anota? Hagamos una casita del amor. You always need people to love you. Hey, and love doesn't mean you have to like somebody. I don't like some of my boys sometimes. So honest, you should be proud of all your accomplishments. Thank you, Hilda, but they belong to so many. Sharing, listening, first step in and helping one another, whether it be sharing your story or listening to others. You got it, bro. It is so important for me that you use my story, you share it with others, you say, la casita del amor, ¿pa dónde vamos? ¿Pa dónde vamos? Right now, I am working out of my truck. I need to take a couple of weeks off. It's very, 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 very... La casita del amor, ¿te gusta, Jacqueline? ¿Te apunta? Tell me, Jacqueline, how many people are going to do the house of love with me? That means we have clothing. It's very important to have clothing for our brothers and sisters. Please tell me no one homeless. Yes, let's make sure no one is homeless or soulless. Churches, we can get together. Come on, Margarita's on it with me. Michael's on it with me. Marisol Wick is on with me. We are out there. No nos cuesta nada si nos unimos toditos más que el sacrificio del tiempo. Yo lo he hecho desde mi carro en estos momentos, desde la guagua que tengo. Sounds perfect. Let me know. En estos momentos estamos preparándonos para dos cosas antes de cerrar. Quiero darle I want to give somebody the $50. You let me know. I do have to go on Instagram. People have personal questions for me. So Mondays are usually a long night. For me, you can join me on I love you too, Mike, man. You're like a hardcore. I can't wait to see your victories come, all your dreams come true. Today you spoke with your open heart, beautiful soul, and we are here for you. I know. I know. So, los que se quedan me avisan porque el próximo proyecto es la casita del amor. We will be doing our workshops. Our team is putting something out together. We will also be sending your videos. Tell me why your daddy is the daddy that should be winning the contest this year. We went from $100 to $200. We had somebody win $300 last year. Tell me why your pops. And your pops can be your mom. Your pops can be anybody that you identified who serves as that role model in your life. Identifica el papá del año. ¿Saben que hice el programa de la mamá y nadie me envió un video? Yo digo, pónganse las pilas. Me voy. ¿Quién me dice? Inspira a continuar viviendo. Today you spoke with the open heart. All right. What did you learn? La casita del amor. What did you learn today? That you can take those $50 with you. My team can't participate. I always feel bad for them. What did you learn today? Would you like to hear more? Hello, everyone. Miss you all and see you soon. Absolutely. I hope those hearts are for my mom, man, because nobody deserves it more than her. I'm going to Instagram. It's Lilly Sin Barreras. I will answer the personal questions. And I hope this was helpful to you. We will continue to have these conversations. Coming up, we'll have Misoti Santiago, survivor of 9/11, of domestic violence, of low self-esteem, of finding her way to God, of her mother being incarcerated. Oh, hurts. I can't even read that. I learned today to be stronger no matter what. There you go. Los espero en Lilly Sin Barreras en Instagram. Para allá me voy. Los quiero mucho. I hope you would join us. Send in your videos, please. Messenger, email, however you want. They have to be no more than 60 seconds so my team can put it together and they can choose the winner. Choose who your pops is. Too bad my pops can't win. But my pops would be my mom. Lo quiero mucho. Ciao. See you on Instagram.